So Mike Huckabee, in an interview with ABC News, weighed in on Hillary Clinton's email scandal, and he wasn't happy about it. He had some disparaging comments, including the following, quote, "If the law said you had to maintain every email for public inspection, that's what you got to do." Now, remember, she didn't actually break the law. She broke an internal department rule. Now, it's still fucked up, and she shouldn't have done it, but just to keep it in perspective, no, it's not a law that she's breaking, it's an internal department rule, and that does change the punishment that comes, because if it really was breaking a law, yes, there's a legal punishment, but since it's not, it's more like, a slap on the wrist or some bureaucratic bullshit if you break a department rule. Again, not defending her, because just like I said at the beginning with this whole scandal, I don't think it's a big deal, but yeah, she shouldn't have done it. You know, you're allowed to have that nuanced take. It doesn't have to be like, fire! Don't let her ever run for president in Benghazi, something. You don't have to flip out, but you also don't have to just say it's totally cool in every way, shape, and form. There's a middle ground. She shouldn't have done it. It was fucked up, but, it's not the biggest deal in the world. That was my take on it from the beginning. But Mike Huckabee, he's not in that camp. He's in the camp of, come on, the goddamn Democrats and their transparency. They never do the right thing, and they're not like us good Republicans who make sure that we have a paper trail and we have all the information for the records if anybody ever wants to see it. Do you see where this story is going? Do I even need to continue here? So here's what Huckabee did as governor of Arkansas. Quote, "Destroyed his administration's state records before leaving office in 2007. I'm about to issue a challenge. Find me one Republican, elected Republican, who's not a hypocrite. We've been doing this show for a long time. I'm not sure there's one. I mean, maybe you could argue Ron Paul wasn't. Maybe. But even that, probably not. But all the rest of them, are you kidding me? Oh, God. They'll go out and go to the press and go on Sunday shows or write op-eds, and they'll scream about the Democrats doing this. And then, 3 days later, this article, actually, you did that. That was you. And then what do? They act like, they act like whenever they get caught 100% and there's no question about it, they just don't respond. Look at O'Reilly. I mean, he's not a politician, but you get the picture with O'Reilly caught in 4 or 5 brazen lies, clear, proven, evidence of himself, him saying the opposite of what it was. There's audio evidence, video evidence of all his lies, documented. He just fucking doesn't answer it, and everybody's like, oh, I guess whatever, it is what it is. I guess we're still going to watch O'Reilly. Oh, sweet Jesus. So Mother Jones reports on this, quote, "We wrote to the office of Arkansas Governor Mike Beebe seeking access to a variety of records concerning his predecessor's tenure, including Huckabee's travel records, calendars, call logs, and emails. Beebe's chief legal counsel, Tim Gauger, replied in a letter that, quote, former Governor Mike Huckabee did not leave behind any hard copies of the types of documents you seek. Moreover, at that time, all of the computers used by former Governor Huckabee and his staff had already been removed from the office, and, as we understand it, the hard drives in those computers had already been cleaned and physically destroyed." You know what I picture as I'm reading through this? You know that scene in Office Space where they're fucking breaking the computer or the fax machine or whatever the fuck it is? I picture Mike Huckabee doing that with a sledgehammer, just swinging at it. And then cut 2 years later, him slamming Hillary Clinton for her lack of transparency. And by the way, Hillary Clinton is still like, here, you want to see my emails? Fucking have at it. I spoke about bagels on page 7 and asked if Bill was having another affair on page 33. I don't give a shit. Look. But Huckabee, he's like, oh, look at it, no transparency, goddamn Democrats. Anyway, remember when we destroyed everything in my office? Remember that? That was fun, right? We had a party. Went out and drank afterwards and then talked about how hot Jesus is. I remember that. That was great. He added, quote, "In short, our office does not possess, does not have access to, and is not the custodian of any of the records you seek." The Arkansas Department of Information Systems also weighed in on this because Mother Jones was like, if they don't have the records, maybe they're saved as a backup in some other place. Nope. The Arkansas Department of Information Systems confirmed that the hard drives had been destroyed while he was still in the governor's mansion. So at least with Hillary Clinton, she did the wrong thing. We acknowledge she did the wrong thing. She shouldn't have done it. But at least now she's like, here, you want to see it? Fine, go ahead. You can see it. Yeah, I admit I shouldn't have done it. But with Mike Huckabee, as he's attacking Hillary Clinton, not only is it like, hey, I have it on this other email. You can look at my records this way. No, it's just, no, I fucking got rid of all of it. I got rid of all of it. Now let's go back and attack Democrats more for their lack of transparency. Anytime you want to know what Republicans are up to, look at what they're accusing Democrats of, because they're likely guilty of it.